good, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, I'm good. I'm good, I'm good.
You and I can probably agree that looks play a huge role in society. How you look like is how you are perceived at first, and if you are trying to find a date on social apps and dating apps, looks is the only attribute you see. I mean, yes, you could read the description of the user profile to somewhat see the glimpse of their personality, but that shit could literally just be written by ChatGPT, and is overall such a negligible thing in the importance of swiping right or left. Looking better also creates that halo effect that will seep into other parts of your life. Trying to find a better job. Well, if you look good, there is a higher chance that you will be accepted. People would want to spend more time with you, talking with you, at least at the start when they don't know you, because your looks are the door to your personality. This argument of the importance of looks gets so deep to the point that it is a very good claim to say that your looks is your personality. Think about it. If a kid grows up being pretty, most likely he was treated positively by others if he did not go through that ugly duckling phase and was conventionally attractive since the start. And because he was treated positively, it is less likely that he will turn out to be jaded. He will not turn out to be hateful or resentful or jealous towards others or the world. He would most likely carry that carefree, positive attitude in his life day through day. Whilst a kid who was growing up ugly most likely would develop some mental health issues or insecurities because he was treated badly. So when you see a person who is both conventionally unattractive and has an unlikable personality, the personality did not just spawn out of the cold moon. It had to come from somewhere, and it came from looks. How the kid was treated because of his looks. If you have never been in this field, looksmaxxing or black pill or just this stupid internet autism spectrum shit, you may ask me, are looks really that important? Is it really so important to the point where you have to understand all of these terms like maxilla, gunial angle, mewing, candle tilt, and so on? Do looks really play a huge role in your success? Can people just live their lives by following positive values and just by being positive in life? Focusing on looks is somewhat shallow and vain. Well, discussing the importance argument. To the human condition, the things we desire but cannot attain is usually the most important thing to us. Seeing other people have things that you don't will naturally create that desire to attain that thing. Because naturally we work in hierarchies, and we will fight to climb up. So the uglier the person, the more important looks becomes to him. For every inch a guy gets shorter, the more important height becomes for him. From the perspective of dating, 5'11 is good, 5'10 is still pretty good. 5'9 is not really ideal, but it's still very good. 5'8, you're kinda struggling, but not a problem. 5'7, you're starting to struggle a lot. 5'6, starting to feel invisible. 5'5, life feels like a curse. 5'4, feels like being handicapped. 5'3, feels like a kid amongst other people. At 5'2, height is the most important thing on the planet Earth. A guy will only think about the importance of height when he is at the height where he is constantly struggling. It is the same case with looks. If you are 4 out of 10 on the lookism scale, you will feel invisible. If you are 9 out of 10, it will feel like people will shower you with free attention day in and day out. And asking for things is easy because you will easily get what you want. The more you research about looks and lookism, the more you would realize how much looks play on our subconscious in judging other people. So it isn't really weird to see many young men focusing so much on looks. Not only we are surrounded by mirrors, one-way windows that cast your reflection back at you, but we are also constantly on our phones, seeing attractive people and models talk about many things. And because of that halo effect, we see how important looks are, especially today. So it is not weird to see 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 21-year-olds doing all sorts of practices just to improve their own looks. Such to the point of it becoming an unhealthy obsession. I myself personally went through a looksmaxxing, gym-maxxing journey, even though back then I did not fully understand why. I understood that looking better, looking more physically fit, will lead to you being treated better by others. So I spent that period between 15 and 18 purely focusing on looks, getting bigger biceps, wider back, defined abs, growing my hair long to look unique, growing a beard to look more masculine, dressing all black because I love that style. But I also went into some waters that some of you would say it is just too much, that I went too deep, like bone smashing, mewing and training my jaw with mastic gum, training some muscles on my face. I mean, there were scenes in my high school where I would be standing in front of the blackboard and would be aggressively chewing on a piece of gum to the point where people would genuinely be making fun of me. To me, it was just normal chewing, but to the outside, I guess it was just unhinged. So today, I present you not only a video criticizing looksmaxxing and some of the practices and bad apples and lies within the community, but also my bulletproof method of ascending to GigaChad status. But that is the question. Will looksmaxxing really improve your life so much where you would feel the difference? Better question, is looks genetical? And how much of an impact will your weird routines really improve it? Well, sorry to be that guy, but looks is all about genetics. Your face, your height, your bone structure, your race, all of that is genetical, and all of that determine your baseline and your potential. I'm not denying that you cannot do anything to improve your situation. I'm just stating the obvious that the level of improvement you will get is entirely dependent on your potential that is already predetermined by genetics. So, for the people who failed, who did many things to improve their looks but failed due to the factors outside of their control, they are correct when they state that it is all about genetics. So the amount of advice I give, the quality of advice, and the methods I use to improve my looks may not work for some of you. I understand that it is not a very good sales pitch of me by saying some of you will make it and some of you will not, just because of the factors outside of your control. But I value honesty more than views and money. But I still recommend doing the things I say in this video, because any improvement is better than none. And even though success is not guaranteed, you will not know your genetic limit until you see it. There is this cool concept that I heard somewhere called Schrodinger's genetics. You will not know your genetic limit until you actively work on it. I believe it came from the bodybuilding side of the internet, because there are many guys who actively say that they have bad bodybuilding genetics, so they will not even try. But to know if you have bad bodybuilding genetics, you need to build something, because just from the start, you do not know. You can have predictions, but they can be false. So for the people who are sub 5, who see themselves as sub 5s, and who think that way, but never tried, just try. Dedicate some time towards that, because regardless of the way you look, you can always do things to look better. Now back to the topic. What even is looksmaxxing? What is the point of looksmaxxing? Maximizing your looks potential, obviously. But what does that truly mean? It means that you're improving your health markers to look more biologically healthy, having clear skin, having healthy looking hair, being at a healthy body fat percentage. All of those are health markers. What does it also mean to be healthy? It means that we're preventing aging. So, our steps in looksmaxxing should be improving our health markers and preventing the signs of aging. So anything that differs from that is not good. It is not beneficial. The whole point of looksmaxxing is to look natural and to look like you are not looksmaxxing. Kinda weird and paradoxical, but if you're looksmaxxing, others should not know that you're looksmaxxing, because it is seen as an insecure thing to focus on your looks so hard. Looks should be natural, so your involvement into that is seen as you're trying to trick others, even though your looksmaxxing journey will be permanent. Anyways, sometimes you see people that went on so many different plastic surgeries and operations that it is obvious that they went on them. They are missing the whole point. Even if you want to do some surgeries to improve your face, the whole point of it is that you should look natural, that you flash your genetic good sides and that you hide your genetic bad sides. I'm not entirely against surgeries just for the point of improving your looks, but you need to understand that there are limits and that there are dangers, because one bad surgery will lead to 3 corrective surgeries. And once you take that first step, and once you realize that the pressure does not exist as before, you will likely take another one. It is the same case with tattoos. Most people who take their first tattoo will most likely take the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one, and the fifth one. So when it comes to surgeries, be careful. Opening up the video with surgeries is such an overkill. Like that picture of a hydrogen bomb versus the coughing baby. Because 90% of looksmaxxing is just diet, being lean and being healthy. More than that, and it will turn into an obsession. A secretive obsession, because talking about looksmaxxing openly to normies is not a very good thing for your social status. Because people tend to look down on people who focus on improving their looks. It is like, you're imperfect, so you're trying around all of these things to mimic perfection. Why not just remain imperfect and be happy about it? Which is just pure 300 milliliters of copium. When you try to change, you violate certain social norms. You're supposed to accept how you look like and not take it too seriously. Improving your appearance is a status move. even if you don't frame it in that way. People see your improvement and it hits them that their competition is getting better, so instead of them improving themselves, they try to bend morality and philosophy into it. You are vain and egotistical for improving your looks. You are full of yourself for doing that. I would say that yes, ego plays a part in improving your looks, because you want others to see you getting better, but I do not see that as a bad thing. Even though looksmaxxing is more about yourself than others, because improving your looks will make you walk with more confidence on this planet and will make you take action in some fields that you will not do as before. So the entire concept of looks not mattering is something that was invented by ugly people to feel better about themselves. So, before me giving you what I did and what I'm still doing to improve my looks, let me tell you what is wrong with looksmaxxing on YouTube and social medias in general. Picture manipulation and using pictures before puberty and after, claiming that their level of looks is entirely onto them. It is the same type of thinking that if you failed, it is because of others, and if you succeeded, it is purely from your work 100% of time, which is, for the majority of time, wrong. Some people just ascended due to genetics, but later claim that they started to look better because of their weird method or something. That is called false cause fallacy, and you can see that being repeated constantly. Example of false cause fallacy. The Maasai people of Kenya and Tanzania are popular in these looksmaxxing spheres because they are tall, and they attribute their height to their jumping ritual, saying that due to them constantly jumping and due to Wolff's law, that constant repetition strengthens the bones, therefore makes them grow taller, whilst in reality the reason for their tall height is due to generations and generations of people drinking raw milk, raw blood, eating clean and natural animal products like meat, muscle, liver, living a natural life, hunting and just being biologically in tune with nature. Therefore, they evolved to be this tall. Maybe, just maybe, their jumping ritual had an impact on their growth slightly, but compared to these other factors that I just said, it is negligible. So certain looksmaxxers sell false hope to insecure guys because this topic is sensitive, and because these guys don't know any better, they will buy into anything that radiates hope, even though that hope will be false. False hope. Like mewing. Remember when this trend called the mewing exploded, and everyone was talking how keeping your tongue on the roof of your mouth will magically over time, from the pressure applied, change the structure of your face. And everyone was talking how they discovered this new trick, which just baffles me, because so many young dudes fell for it. Mewing, in short, is you not mouth breathing. I will not get into the whole science of why mouth breathing is bad for you, but I just want you to understand that if you breathed through your nose during your childhood, you were already mewing, because when you breathe through your nose, your tongue automatically rests on top of your mouth. This only impacts you when you were developing during childhood. Hard mewing now will not magically rearrange the structure of your face. Mewing should have been something that your body naturally does. There is no way that the pressure from your tongue will magically rearrange bones. Now, if you are past the age of 12. The second thing that I dislike is picture manipulation. If you have not spent some time in the gym, or maybe you constantly look at fitness on Instagram and YouTube, but don't actively train, you do not understand how much power does lighting and angles play. I have so many pictures where I look like a Greek god, chiseled, full of muscle, defined, and there are times where I look like complete shit. Do you know the time difference between these two pictures that I'm showing you right now? It is 1 minute. Posing, angles, lighting, all of that play a role on portraying yourself online like you made it. I even did it in this video. Look at the thumbnail. Look at the angles. The first picture, I'm obviously making a face. My hair is just ooga booga. The picture is taken from below. The picture is slightly saturated to make my pimples and negative features much more defined and obvious. The lighting is terrible. The only good thing was that I took that picture either in 3rd or 4th grade when I was 16 or 17, so my puberty basically ended. And the second picture, great lighting. Picture is taken from above. Obviously I'm locked in, like I know when the picture was taken. I'm slightly squinting to make my eyes appear to be hunting for something. All of this make it seem like the creator made it from a 2 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10, just by doing some practices. Whilst in reality, the dude was 5 out of 10 with a bad haircut and a pudgy beard, and made it to 6 out of 10 with a wolf cut haircut and stylized beard. Because walking day by day, you do not have perfect lighting, you are not locked in, you are relaxed and so on. So by me telling you that, I'm not disregarding the methods and practices that these Looksmaxxers do. I'm just saying that the impact of their methods is not god tier. They are not like life-changing for 95% of people watching. They will help, definitely, but you will not magically transform into Chico Lakovsky, because models are not made, they are born. So, understanding that there are false prophets, that there are people who want to sell you false hope to create that parasocial relationship so that you can give them money because they're selling you the dream. And by us understanding that looking good and attractive is basically already predetermined by genetics, which also determine our potential ceiling. And that we understand the concept of Schrodinger's genetics. And that looksmaxxing should be health maxing because we are boosting our physical health markers. What is the practical advice? Sorry for bothering you people who only came here for the practical advice, for me yapping, because I felt that this needed to be mentioned. And if you skipped towards this part, here it is. What I do to maximize health and looks. I started this channel with lifting, with the idea of attaining an aesthetic physique, resembling a Greek god, Greek statue, and following that golden ratio. So I had to start this segment off with lifting and gym maxing, because if you're fat or extremely skinny, that will significantly knock down your sexual marketplace value. Because even if we are only looking at the face, because humans focus on faces much more than the body, having a lot of face fat in your cheeks is bad. And if you're extremely skinny or extremely lean, you will look malnourished, which is also very bad. Even though having hollow cheeks looks good, if it makes your entire face look like a concentration camp survivor, that just ain't it, man. So if you're obese or extremely skinny, the most obvious thing that you should do is hit the gym. Lose the weight, gain some muscle. I mean, what is even the point of doing anything else when it comes to looksmaxxing? If you're either one of those two, the biggest return on investment for looksmaxxing if you're fat is losing fat. The biggest return on investment for looksmaxxing if you're malnourished and skinny is gaining muscle and some fat. In short, being at a healthy body fat percentage. Even though body fat percentage looks different from person to person, staying between 10 and 18 for the vast majority is the most attractive body fat percentage to be at. If you're only focusing on looksmaxxing, you do not need to spend years and years in the gym trying to build a butt ton of muscle, because having a lot of muscle is only attractive to the people inside of the gym. To the outside, people don't really care. That is the reason why there is that meme where you only get compliments from dudes in the gym. Expectations versus reality. Just being toned and having some small amount of muscle just to not look weak is already good enough. In the terms of what physique women love the most, if you really want to attain a physique just for the goal of getting women, they prefer two types of physiques. A physique of an athlete, body shape that resembles a thrower or a swimmer, or they prefer a physique that resembles a bear, which they call the dad bod, even though this is what a dad bod is to us gym goers. Usually younger women prefer the first and older women prefer the bear, but it varies from person to person. The reason why they prefer those body shapes is because through evolution and biology, the athletic physique perfectly resembles a hunter, and it shows biological features that were good for hunting, like being lean, having some muscle, and they prefer the second one for safety and protection, because the more mass you have, the more intimidating you look like. Therefore, bigger predisposition towards having more resources. Even though today your physique doesn't really matter in the terms of protecting and hunting and gathering resources, the evolutionary attribute is still there when determining attraction. Muscles look attractive, definitely, but having too much of it is an ick for some. It comes down to preference. So saying that, what muscles should you build to look more attractive? Your goal should be building muscles that will create an illusion of a V-taper, because having a good shoulder to waist ratio is extremely attractive to the human eye. It is the same how the woman's hourglass shape is also attractive. So, your main focus points should be the shoulders, your back, your traps, and your neck. Even if you say that the gym is pure cope for looking more attractive because people will only look at your face, still go there and train your neck. Having a pencil neck is making you look very weak. Not only that training your neck will make you look more tougher and stronger, it will boost the attractiveness of your face, because there is no separation from the skull and the base of the body, if you understand what I mean. Look at these two pictures. You can see the clear separation that doesn't look that good. In the second picture, the skull and the neck have a clear continuation to the base of the body. So prioritizing your neck is very important if you have a skinny ass neck. Train your shoulders for that shoulder width. Even though that width is predetermined by your clavicle bones, putting more muscles on your shoulders will make them look wider. I, myself, am kind of cursed with narrow clavicles and a wide waist. You can kinda call me a framelet, because I have a small skeletal structure compared to others. So I had to spend a lot of my time training shoulders and other parts. Train your back. especially your lats, because from the front, that will make the illusion of a V-taper the most. And for the last thing, train your arms, because arms, along with your neck, are the only muscle groups that are constantly exposed, so having vascular and decently sized arms is a good boost to your sexual marketplace value. SMV. I recommend focusing more on the biceps, even though the triceps create most of the arm, because the biceps faces the front, and when it is defined, it just looks better. You do not need to focus on legs or abs or chest, because most of the time you will be wearing clothes covering them. Focus on them if you really want to, because having a balanced physique looks good, but if we would only focus on the muscles that bring the highest return on investment, focus on shoulders, arms, neck and back. There are a lot of programs on YouTube and social media discussing which exercises to do. If you do not want to search and worry about that, do pull-ups for your back. When you reach 14 pull-ups consistently, start applying weight. Start doing weighted pull-ups. For your neck, either buy a neck harness or do one of these on the ground. Just place a towel down there. For shoulders, overhand press or military press is very good. And for your arms, the preacher curls hit both your forearms and the biceps. And for the triceps, you can only do weighted dips, even though dips mostly hit the chest. I guess that for the time saved for doing both chest and triceps, dips are pretty solid, so do them. Not only that training will improve your looks, but it will also improve your posture, which will add an inch in your height if you're already not slouched. If you think that going to the gym is just cringe for having a certain physique, I don't know, because it is corny, vain and shallow, then go for sports that improve both your cardio and strength. MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, any competitive combat sport will create a good V-taper type aesthetic physique. Swimming and gymnastics also build good physiques. American football or rugby is also good. I do not really recommend football or soccer or running or any sort of sports that tax your cardio heavily without incorporating strength work, because you will only look lean without good muscle development in your upper region. In the terms of diet, look heavily into what your ancestors ate for thousands of years and try to mimic that. You will find that for the majority of time your ancestors ate animal-based, with small amounts of fruits, vegetables and seeds. They ate mostly meat, raw milk, raw egg yolk and so on. I'm not at that level yet, eating raw meat, raw animal products, raw milk, because I do not have a trusted source. But sometimes, not consistently, when I trust the source, I eat raw meat. I'm currently diving into this whole eating naturally sphere and researching if eating meat is really that beneficial if consumed raw. And right now, for what I have found is that you make the meat safer to eat by cooking, but you lose certain bioactive compounds and vitamins like B1, B6, B12, folate, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E, K2 and taurine. I will not talk about what their functions are or where you can find them. I just want to let you know that meat has every micronutrient your body needs, and considering that sushi exists, it is not a far stretch for me to consume red meat raw. That is more of a social taboo, eating raw liver and raw muscle tissue. If the anime people can eat sushi without other people batting an eye, why can't we eat raw red meat? Also, if we are talking about health, what is a healthy diet? Don't be vegan or vegetarian. You can be that due to moral reasons, but for health reasons, you're entirely wrong. With the development of agriculture, the skeletal structure of the humans became smaller and weaker. So even though consuming bread and vegetables won't hurt you if you're already developed, I would still avoid consuming excessive amounts of that. Avoid bread, especially white bread. Anyways, the reason why diet is so important in your looks is how your skin looks like. Many people have pimples and acne just because of their diet. And not only that, your smell is directly connected to what you eat. If you have bad body odor constantly and your sweat smells, look at what you eat. Sweat should not smell bad. It shouldn't have any smell at all. Not only that, but during puberty or during your developmental years, if your diet was all over the place and your parents basically just fed you whatever, then my man, I am truly sorry. I personally think that if your parents neglected your diet or what you consumed back then for the majority of time, that could fall in the category of child abuse, because what you consume during those years is so much important. You needed all of the nutrients and vitamins to grow, because the most important years for looksmaxxing were when you were from the ages 0 to 10. If your parents kick-started your development properly, you probably would be taller. Your skeleton would probably develop better, just because you got everything you needed to grow. That is the reason why sometimes it makes me just so sad when I see a kid who is forced to be on a vegan diet. The vegan diet does not have all of the vitamins and micronutrients for healthy development. If you want the most optimal vegan or vegetarian diet, you need to use man-made supplements with it. That is the reason why, if you place a bowl of salad and a bowl of meat in front of a kid who is not brainwashed, he would go for the meat. The same with pets like cats and dogs. To whoever thinks that their cat or dog is vegan, you are insane. Because cats and dogs did not develop biologically to consume plants. Anyways, pushing that rant to the side, even though the past is the past and our parents probably did not know better, once you develop autonomy over yourself, start making your own food. Cook your steak rare for safety reasons. Avoid seed oils. Use animal fats or butter if you plan to cook. Eat fruits seasonally. Vegetables contain good vitamins and such, but they contain anti-nutrients, compounds that reduce mineral absorption, defense chemicals evolved to deter consumption and such. So lay down on them vegetables. They aren't that healthy as we were told when we were kids. When you start eating healthy, you will remove bad skin quality and face puffiness, which will make your jaw look much more defined. And that will also improve your eye area. Of course, I do not have to mention that you should avoid alcohol and drugs. Alcohol worsens the skin quality, sleep, testosterone levels, it causes inflammation, facial puffiness and hair loss, all coming from constant alcohol consumption. Hydrate yourself with water. Drink water if you haven't today. Sleep is also very important for recovery. Humans are the only species that reduce sleep hours for productivity hours, which is just outright bad for our mental health and our development. If an animal is tired, the animal will go to sleep. When we are tired, we consume coffee, energy drinks, just to slip in a few more hours of work, which is literally just slavery that we impose on ourselves. Focus on your sleep. Be in touch with your circadian rhythm. Be in touch with the sun. This is kinda messed up for us, because during the winter we wouldn't work that much, and during summer we would work more. But because of this modern world where productivity and profits are so important, we just tend to work so hard every time of year, which it shouldn't really be like that. During the summer, you prepare for winter, so that during winter you can just rest. Because no one is crazy to work hard during winter. It is tough preserving energy to fight off the cold. This is what we would do biologically, but modernity and industrial revolution fucked us over. Oh well. If your job is not messing you up, you should wake up when the sun rises and go to sleep when it settles down. And as fast as you can, when you wake up, go outside and intake the sun. Sun exposure is so beneficial for your development and your skin. You shouldn't really be afraid of too much sun exposure, because if you eat healthily, your skin would not be damaged. I know some people who turn lobster red from too much sun, and most of the time their diet is just shit. But still, don't spend like 8 hours in the sun in one go. And don't put on sunscreen. Many sunscreens have bad chemicals and you are directly absorbing them into your skin. I know that it says that it is protecting you from the sunburns, but to me, it is like placing a band-aid soaked in gasoline on an open wound. Considering that we are now healthy, with good sleep, good diet, good body activity, here is the actions that instantly, or at least very quickly, improve your looks. These only work if your diet and skin qualities are already good. Beard and haircut. Look at your face shape. Google what is the best haircut for your face shape and start rocking that. Don't be that guy who will just go and pick the trendiest haircut. Find the one that fits you. Usually long hair fits most people as it covers your negative features, but that still depends on your face shape. That is what I did when I was in high school. If you can, grow out a beard. Especially if you have a receding jawline. If your jawline is okay, shave it. That is more of a personal thing. You yourself need to find what suits you the best through trial and error. What beard style suits you? Just keeping it clean is important. It doesn't look good when you have a patch here or a patch there. Trim down the neck region so that you create that clear separation. Clean your eyebrows. Shave that small unibrow you have there. Even though looksmaxxing is for your quality of life, in the way how you will be treated by others, it is more of a how I look at myself thing. The whole point of looksmaxxing is how you feel, your level of confidence, because if you have the baseline set in, the second thing that is left is behavior, your mannerisms in social situations. The whole point of looksmaxxing is how you see yourself, more than how others perceive you, because you will never know how others see you. That is funny, man. You can have a self-image of yourself that you see every day, and it will not be the same how other people look at you. I know that people at my job look at me as this shy, weirdo guy with low social intelligence, whilst my friends see me as that goofy, unhinged, retardino guy. No matter what you do, you will not be satisfied in how other people perceive you. So the whole point of looksmaxxing is that you yourself see yourself as the person you want to be. Yes, how others treat you and talk to you affects also how you see yourself. You cannot really cope around that. But by improving your looks, it will have an impact on how others treat you, which will snowball effect into you being much more confident, which will also make you more attractive. Where was I? Yeah, your haircut can make your face look wide or tall. If you are a short guy, having slightly grown out hair will make you look slightly taller. Also, if your face is wide, it will balance out the symmetries. If you are noticing signs of baldness, start preventing that shit early. Google the methods of preventing balding. First, by being healthy in the first place, and secondly, applying some products. If you are already bald, start rocking a beard. Start rocking that stereotypical mustache and beard style. For clothes, wear the ones that are over 90% cotton, as we do not want to wear microplastics. And secondly, pick the clothes that fit you. Do not be that guy who will buy a branded sperme clothes that cost more than 300 euros or USD. I know a guy who would generally flex his jacket, shirt and shoes just for how much they cost. What is the point if they look shit on you? Firstly, if you are jacked or fit, which you will be if you listen to the start of the video, every shirt you wear that will hug your arms will be good. Just don't be that guy who will buy extra small t-shirts that literally look like they are constricting you. That just looks goofy. Depending on your height, I don't really see it as a bad idea to wear shoes that add an inch or two. It is not really honest, but girls put on so much makeup that they are not honest either. A girl can look normal, but can boost herself to Hollywood levels just by makeup, which is just scary. Girls are the original looksmaxxers. They know all about shading, lighting out certain parts of their skin, making their eyes pop out more with glitter and eyelashes and all that. When it comes to looksmaxxing, men looksmax the permanent way, the honest way. You cannot really take away a man's beard or his jacked physique in an instant, whilst a girl's form of looksmaxxing is often through deception and trickery, which can be removed by a splash of water. I never really got into the part of me using makeup, only that labella thing for your lips, but that is mostly because my lips are dry, and it looks like I haven't drank water in years. If you apply makeup on yourself as a male for the sake of looksmaxxing, I will not say that you are gay or homosexual, or that you love inserting inanimate objects in certain holes of yours, but I would say that you kinda went too much into it. The same with bone smashing. I was actively using a hammer to improve some features of my face, and the whole principle again was, if you create microfractures in your face, the bone will grow stronger, so therefore certain parts of your face would enlarge a little bit, giving you a better facial harmony. It didn't really work for me. The only thing that happened is that my face got slightly inflamed, and even though maybe I had some progress due to that, it is negligible honestly. If you really want to dive deep into bone smashing, join a martial arts gym, boxing or any sport that targets your head. The goal wouldn't really be to get hit in the head just for the goal of having a much more attractive face, but the goal would be that physical activity will overall make your body develop into something much more attractive, and the confidence you will develop from getting better in martial arts will seep into other areas of your life. I already talked about mewing. In short, it doesn't work. The whole concept of mewing is that you should breathe through your nose and not through your mouth, because breathing through your mouth for many years will lead to negative health conditions. So breathe through your nose. You will notice that for the majority of your guys watching, when you breathe through your nose, your tongue position will automatically sit on the roof of your mouth. Take care of your teeth. Avoid toothpaste that contains fluoride. And that is that. Beyond that, going to operations that rearrange your entire face or increase your height is some next level of looksmaxxing that I do not recommend. Operations and surgeries like that should be reserved only for people who really need it, who have medical disabilities or problems. But at the end of the day, I understand the struggles, being mistreated and so on for your lacking or negative features. So you collect so much money to go on an operation to improve it. I'm not entirely against it, I just do not recommend it, because the quality of your life will get worse in many other aspects. For example, if I were to right now go to Turkey to let them cut my bones to increase my height from 5'8 to, 5'11, my kickboxing dreams are basically over. Say goodbye to jumping, running. Bro, one unchecked leg kick and I fall like a tree. Even for the face, there could be many complications. So anyways, that is that for the video. I understand that most of the advices I gave here are generic, like get a haircut, train, dress better, shower, be healthy, but other than that, what else can you do? You have a genetic potential that can only be achieved via being healthy and training. Some have bigger potential and some have smaller. That is just life. No one said life would be fair, but I still need to hit you with some hope core right now. Whatever you do to look better, you will look better. Diving fully into genetic determinism and thinking that you cannot control your life is far more damaging than you think. Even though the things that I listed are generic advices, all of those things are inside your control, and they will improve your life no matter what. It will take days, months, or even a year to improve your looks, but with effort and strategy, you will finally feel comfortable in your own skin. That is that for the video, my fellow Sigmas. See you in the next one. Peace out!